All right, so we do got breaking news. So Bernie Sanders did make his promise to bring to the floor a vote on $15 minimum wage. Now, this was not like a standalone thing. This was a amendment to the COVID bill, the bill $1.9 trillion. So this would be an amendment to insert the $15 minimum wage into it. Eight Democrats actually voted against it. So I think the vote was 58-42. And here are the Democrats who did not vote for it. This was Joe Manchin of West Virginia, Jon Tester of Montana, Jeanne Shaheen of New Hampshire, Maggie Hassan of New Hampshire, Angus King of Maine, Kyrsten Sinema of Arizona, Tom Carper of Delaware, and Chris Coons of Delaware. It's pretty funny because Delaware, of course, is Joe Biden's place where he is from. There's a couple of things I really have to say about this, to be honest with you. I mean, one thing we can really look at here's one, it's interesting. So Senator Maggie Hassan wouldn't answer when I asked her why she voted against an effort to raise wage to $15. Quote, I've long been supportive of increasing the minimum wage, she said. I asked her what was wrong with this one, and her aide interjected and said she's late for a meeting. So clearly some pretty heavy cowardice. This is going to be a viral GIF that may low-key help end Kyrsten Sinema's career. I guess this is her today voting nay on the bill. She gives it a little weird, sass to it or whatever. So this is gonna live on in infamy. As you can see, this tweet has 12.3K likes, and it's literally rising by the second. And every couple minutes, it goes up by like 1,000. So this is the potential to be one of those viral moments that really helps sink a candidate or a politician, because this forever will live in infamy as her voting nay on $15 minimum wage. This will live in infamy for sure, and I guarantee you this will become viral. So usually the downfall of politicians will require a couple of things. This definitely appears like it's going to be one of them. Here's another interesting thing. So Sinema just walked into the Senate carrying a large chocolate cake, and she retweeted this on her Twitter account because she's trying to do some damage control right now. She says, Senator Sinema brought the cake for Senate floor staff who had worked late into the night. So a lot of people saying, let them eat cake. It's pretty interesting. Your Senate floor staff, you brought them a measly ass cake. You know what I mean? When you could have voted for $15 minimum wage for either them, or people like them who could have made more money to get out of poverty. So it's quite literally the whole Marie Antoinette let them eat cake situation is pretty interesting. But I do guarantee you this GIF right here will live in infamy. Probably under any Kyrsten Sinema tweet, you're going to see this down below. So these are the 8 senators, Democrat senators, who voted against it. Now, I really have to say a couple of things about this. One thing that people need to do is they really need to raise hell. They really need to pressure the shit out of these people. Call their phones when they start having rallies. Start pressuring them, shame them. Relentlessly go after them, because the fact that they voted against a $15 minimum wage is so disgusting and just nasty that they voted against taking millions out of poverty. And the only way to get these people to vote for it is to shame them, start fielding primary challengers. But that portion is very difficult because the Senate races are very difficult to win. And the Senate, this is my second point that I wanted to make, is that to really get progressive things through $15 minimum wage, Medicare for all, these are things that, I don't know if they can get through the Senate as currently constructed, and it makes me think maybe there has to be senatorial reforms, and that means there has to be more of a tiered system of some kind, or you have to change the way that people have senators, or maybe just combine them. There would have to be some kind of reform because it's so undemocratic, and it's actually the more elite institution, which makes it even worse. The higher chamber of the House of Congress is has zero democracy in it, right? A state like Wyoming has 500K people, maybe even less now, actually. I think it might be like 350, something ridiculously small. California has 35 million. Both of them have 2 senators. Is that democratic? For 1 second, just let that sit in. A state with 350 to 500K people has the same amount of senators as a state with 35 million? The answer is no. And that's so undemocratic. Like, I'm willing to make a compromise to be somewhere in the middle, where the House is fully Democratic as it should be. Leave that as it is, unless you want to do some kind of Senate-House merger. But the upper chamber, the Senate, it needs to be somewhere in the middle between being completely undemocratic and being completely democratic. The compromise should not be, let's have one house that's fully democratic, which is lower chamber, and the upper chamber, zero democracy. No, there should be full democracy in the House, and then in the Senate, it should be somewhere down the middle. So there's more representation for more populous states. It won't be completely based on population. Some people think that the Senate should be completely abolished, but at the end of the day, if Bernie Sanders is the executive, it makes it a lot easier. But given the fact that there were 8 senators, and by the way, the reason why it makes it a lot easier is because Bernie Sanders is going to pressure the shit out of these senators, and he's going to force their hand. That's what a president has to do. But usually there will be a couple of stragglers that can hold things up, like a Joe Manchin or one of these guys. There was 8 of them, so even if there's 1 or 2, you can't get it through with the current Senate makeup. So, some people want to abolish the Senate. It's really difficult to get progressive things through. It's literally an entirely undemocratic institution. There is no element of democracy in the Senate. So it's just, you know what I mean? There's no representation. It's just, I don't know what to tell you. This is going to be tough. $15 minimum wage goes down. 8 Democrats vote against it. Pressure the hell out of them, man. Seriously, call phones, pressure them on social media, field primary challengers. And when they have rallies, man, give these people help. Joe Manchin, Jon Tester, Jeanne Shaheen, Maggie Hassan, Angus King, Kyrsten Sinema, Tom Carper, Coons. Raise hell on these people because they have just denied millions of people the ability to get out of poverty and live a decent life, and a life not in poverty. So, very unfortunate. Bernie Sanders does bring it up like he said he would, and now we have the names of the Democrats who voted against it. So get ready to be on the receiving end of some pretty harsh criticism.